Hey, I'm Catherine and I'm a travel blogger traveling the world using just weekends and vacation days while working a full-time job. I've lived in Australia twice, but these days I'm based in London, England, and while I mostly travel with friends, every so often I throw in a cheeky little solo trip too.
I recently headed back to Singapore and Australia, and this time I took Aftab, one of my oldest travel besties, with me. It was his first time to this part of the world, and after a 2 day stopover in Singapore, we flew to Sydney for sightseeing, and I had the best time doing all the touristy things that I hadn't actually done since I first moved to Sydney back in 2016. We even managed to fit in some of the amazing Mardi Gras events. After 5 incredibly fun days, we hopped over to Perth on the west coast of Australia to do some wine tasting, catch some sunsets, and make sure I caught up with all my friends and family. And honestly, it was just so great showing Aftab around the small city where I spent time growing up as a teenager. So, come and follow along as we show you the very best places in Singapore, Sydney, and Perth to visit, eat, and have the time of your life. Singapore is one of my favourite cities, and you honestly can't go without starting your stay at the Merlion. This is Singapore's famous mascot. It is everywhere in Singapore, you cannot miss it. But from there, you can walk around to the Gardens by the Bay, which is one of my favourite activities in the whole of Singapore. It's just so beautiful, it's so peaceful, but make sure you book your tickets in advance so you don't need to join the huge queue when you arrive. From the Gardens by the Bay, walk through to the treetop area and then get the MRT to Chinatown. Here, you want to go to the hawker markets because they're amazing. Honestly, though, the food in Singapore, look at all this food. Like, the food we had was unbelievable. I've never had a bad meal in Singapore, just everything is delicious. I mean, look at this dessert. Come on. As well as the hawker markets, some of my favourite restaurants are Coma, Lavo, and I also really love Atlas Bar. Another thing to be aware of in Singapore is the time of the year. So at certain points of the year, it's actually monsoon season. We got completely drenched, so you need to make sure that you have the right clothing and a solid umbrella. And maybe a poncho too, because our umbrellas did nothing. So after we got caught in the rain, we actually went to the Long Bar at Raffles, which is the really famous bar where the Singapore sling was created. I won't lie, this cocktail is probably one of the most expensive cocktails I've ever had, but it's just one of those things you have to do. The bar is also really famous for peanuts, so you're able to kind of crush the peanuts and leave the peanut casings on the floor. So do not go there if you have a peanut allergy. So we stayed at the Fullerton Hotel, which was honestly so beautiful. Usually I stay at the Shangri-La on Sentosa, but I loved this hotel so much. It was such a dream to stay there. It was right in the middle of the city. Like, this was our view from our balcony. How amazing is this?
Okay, so we just got to the top of Mount Faber. I wish I could say that we climbed up here, but we didn't. We got a taxi.
Mount Faber is a really great place to visit in Singapore, especially if you've kind of done the main touristy spots and have a bit of extra time. But definitely get a taxi up there because the heat and humidity in Singapore is no joke. Walk from the main drop-off point on Mount Faber all through the jungle to Henderson Waves Bridge. And then when you walk through Henderson Waves Bridge, you then keep going until you get to a car park where you can call an Uber. We then honestly just spent the afternoon at the Tangling Club because I'm a reciprocal member there. And then we kind of just went back to the hotel, got our bags, got our stuff sorted, and went to get our flight. But do not miss the jewel when you go to Changi Airport. And also do not sleep on the Pandan milkshake from Shake Shack because it is the best milkshake you will ever have.
Okay, so I am finally back in Sydney after 2.5 years. I've just left Aftab at the hotel, and I am now going to my hair appointment because every time I come back to Sydney, my first stop is always my hairdresser to get my hair coloured, and then I will feel like I'm on a holiday and can enjoy my holiday with nice hair. My hair is done and I feel more like myself again. Excuse the busy road noise. I'm just on my way down to Paddington, where I used to live. Gonna go to my favourite little shop there and then get a bus back to the CBD and the hotel so that Aftab and I can go for dinner.
100% go to Restaurant Hubert when you're in Sydney. It is my favourite restaurant in the whole of Sydney. The steak is unbelievable. They have live music. It's just such a vibe. It's stunning. Our first full day in Sydney, we got the train out to the Blue Mountains, and oh my gosh, I had not been since 2017 and I honestly forgot how beautiful they are. I'm so excited for you to see the views because, they're just so beautiful. We are at the Blue Mountains. We are about to go on the little railway down into the rainforest. So you basically go to Scenic World and you get this little train and it is like the steepest funicular in the world or something. But I mean, you can already see the views, but it gets even better than this. It's just like the most unbelievable place. You go down right into the belly of the jungle, and the rainforest. Not jungle, is it just a rainforest? I have no idea. I think it's a rainforest. Anyway, so this takes you all the way down and look at this view. Look at it. So when you get off the little funicular train thing, you basically can then walk through the actual rainforest at the bottom. And there are all these different walkways. There are different routes and trails that you can take, but you cannot go off these walkways because the walkways are there to obviously protect all of the flora and fauna. And it's just honestly just such a magical place. Like you're walking through this rainforest and it's just so tranquil and peaceful and just lovely. And then you can get the funicular back up to the top, and just either walk or get the bus round to the Three Sisters lookout point. And this is probably one of my favorite places in Australia. It's just like, look at it, it's just stunning. It's just so different from Sydney, and the train only takes 2 hours and you're in a completely different place to the city. And we actually found that the train was better. So I have driven in the past, but I think the train is easier, it's cheaper. You just get on it and sit in it and it takes you straight back to Central Station in the middle of Sydney. Yeah, we basically hopped back on the train, and we were going to the grounds of Alexandria for a late lunch when we got back. And they basically have these seasonal displays, and each season they change the display. And honestly, they're just amazing, like so photogenic. And the food there is really good. I always love the corn fritters. I would recommend booking though, because you are going to struggle to get a table if you don't book, even if it's a weird time of day. And after the grounds of Alexandria, we just went to Hyde Park. We wandered through the park and then we just laid on the grass and just chilled out for a little bit. We are in Hyde Park having a nice little rest. Aftab's chilling on his phone and I'm just staring up at the sky, and it is pure bliss.
Here we have the native bin chicken.
Aftab is fascinated by bin chickens. That evening we went for dinner at the Butler Potts Point with my friend Laura. It was delicious. I love it. You get an amazing view of the city skyline from there, but I did not get any footage. But the next day we did one of my favourite things in Sydney, which is the Bondi to Coogee coastal walk. We didn't actually go all the way to Coogee, we just went to Bronte. It was a very hot day and we just did not have it in us to do the full walk. But obviously you need to make sure that you get your photos of the Bondi icebergs, but don't swim there. Trust me on this, do not swim there. Wait until you get to Bronte, because at Bronte Beach, there is a swimming pool there that is so much nicer than the icebergs. It's calmer, it's more relaxed, it's just so lovely. We went to Speedo's for lunch with my friend Mercy, and then we honestly just had an afternoon of shopping. We bought so many things, and then had dinner at Pellegrino 2000 before meeting all my old work colleagues and friends for drinks. And then obviously we had to finish the day with Messina, because is it a day in Sydney without Messina? The answer is no, it's not. Alright, so my eyes. So basically we just got on the ferry at Rose Bay because we wanted to go to Watson's Bay for lunch, and we ended up at Circular Quay. We got on the wrong ferry, so now we've got to stay on the ferry and go all the way back the way we came to get to Watson's Bay. But never mind, we'll get there half an hour later than we were supposed to.
but it's all good. We're just enjoying the vibes of the boat.
Honestly, I could not believe that we got on the wrong boat. But hey, it's been 7 years since I lived in Sydney, okay? But oh my gosh, I love Watson's Bay. It is such a great place. Highly recommend it. The fish and chips is really good. And I just love the boat over there. Like it's so nice getting the boat along the harbour. And it's just such a vibe. Like Watson's Bay is just beautiful. It's just look at it. It's such a vibe. It's just so great. Aftab loved it. After lunch, we got an Uber over to Shark Bay, which is in Neilson Park. This is one of my favourite beaches in Sydney. It's just really calm. It's really beautiful. I much prefer it to the coastal beaches. And then in the afternoon, we then went back to the hotel to get ready for the Sissy Ball. This is an annual Vogue dance event that's part of Mardi Gras, and we had the best time. It was amazing. We then ended up at Stonewall dancing, and then we went to a Porto.
Aftab, how is your first experience of a Porto? It's good. We have our end of the night feed.
Honestly, brunch the next morning was so bad, I'm not even going to tell you where we went. But after brunch, we went to the botanical gardens, and oh, I love it so much there.
We are in the botanical gardens. It's Mardi Gras Day. How are you feeling about Mardi Gras Day, Aftab?
Very
Are you excited? Oh my gosh, we went to the Sissy Ball last night. It was amazing. It's so hot today. I cannot cope. The sweat is sweating. But we're going to walk around to Mrs. McCrory's chair and see the views.
Honestly, the botanical gardens are just so beautiful. But Mrs. Macquarie's chair is, in my opinion, the best place to see the view of the city. You see the skyline, you see the Opera House, you see the Harbour Bridge. It was actually, the end of it was closed, so we couldn't get all the way around. So this was the best, the best that we got. And then we walked around to the Opera House so Aftab could see it up close. We saw the Harbour Bridge, and then we jumped on a bus to go for our lunch reservation, which was at one of my favourite places right by my old house in Paddington. After a dreamy lunch at 10 William Street, we headed back to the hotel because it was time to get ready for Mardi Gras, you guys.
How cute are these little stickers? We are ready for Mardi Gras. Cute. We're ready to go.
Let's go!
Alright, you guys, I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to leave you with all the Mardi Gras vibes. 8 a.m. the next morning. We flew to Perth, landed, dropped our stuff at my aunt's house, and then we went straight to my best friend's house for cheese, dips, biscuits, you name it. I was just so happy to see my friends again. And then we walked from Caitlin's house into Fremantle, and we went to a restaurant where there was Asian food. I cannot remember the name of it. I will find the name, but it was amazing. It was incredible. We had the best evening, just laughing and drinking and eating, and it was just absolutely perfect.
We are eating croissants on the sidewalk, waiting for Caitlin to come back with her coffee. Here she is.
And then it was time to go to Rottnest. Rottnest Island is honestly one of the best places in the whole world, in my opinion. I mean, look, they have quokkas. They're like the cutest little marsupial ever. And Rottnest is just, oh, it's so dreamy. It's so beautiful. We took the Island Explorer bus round the beaches. We had a pie from the bakery on the beach. We just enjoyed a very relaxed day and had the best time. Alright, we are at Rottnest Island today. This is one of my favourite beaches on Rottnest. This is Ricey Beach. The sand is like perfectly golden and sandy. The ocean is beautiful. It's a little bit cloudy today, so it's not as clear as usual, but it's still so pretty. So yeah, we are just sunbathing and reading books and enjoying some downtime before we go to Margaret River later this week. What is your opinion on Australia's pies and sausage rolls so far? Yeah, 100%. We have found some quokkas. Hello, Mr. Quokka. Running. Oh, this one's bouncing off.
It's like, I see, come closer.
I should point out as well that you're not supposed to touch quokkas. You can sit next to them, you can feed them leaves, they love to eat a leaf. You cannot stroke them and touch them. And just be really respectful of them because at the end of the day, they are a wild animal. But yeah, I find that like if you just sit quietly next to one, they're quite inquisitive, they're very nosy. They will generally come over and like they might put their little paws on you. It's just so cute. But yeah, we like got some quokka time in, and then we walked around Thompson Bay settlement area, got an ice cream from Simo's, which is a great ice cream place. And then we went to the Rottnest Hotel for a cheeky drink before our ferry home. The following morning, we drove up to Bayview Lookout. This place has a lot of good memories for me. And then we got the amazing hotcakes from Good Things Mosman Park. At Floreat Beach, which was my local beach when I lived here. The kiosk just behind me is where I worked as a teenager. So I just brought Aftab here to show him what it is like. The sun is so bright today, it's so hot I can't actually see my screen, so I have no idea what you're looking at, but I'm hoping that you can see the beach and also my face. And yeah, we're having like a very chilled day today in Perth. We were at Rottnest yesterday, which was like very, very hot. So having a chilled day today, just enjoying some kind of like, yeah, drives around Perth and kind of going to my favourite places. We've just had lunch and an iced chocolate. Then we're going to go out to Kings Park later. So yeah, I'm just loving being back. I feel like I'm home again. Aftab sunning on the beach with his brand new Birkenstocks. He is a true beach babe now. I'm still so happy that I managed to persuade Aftab to join the Birkenstock gang. But we had lunch at the kiosk, so a classic iced chocolate and their tomato and avocado on toast, which is one of my favourite dishes. It's just so delicious. It's so simple, but it's so good. And then we drove down to Kings Park, where you get this beautiful view of the city. And it's just really relaxing. I love a good park, so yeah, we basically just chilled out. We just laid on the grass, watching all the birds and the parrots, and just having a lovely time. After our little chill out time, I was desperate to go and get my favourite snacks. So we went to Coles and then had another iced chocolate down in Peppermint Grove before meeting my family for a delicious fish and chips at Amberjack's Cottesloe, which is our favourite fish and chip place. My friend Andrew also joined us because he also knows my parents and hasn't seen them for a while. So it was just nice to have a catch up and see the sunset, eat our fish and chips. Andrew brought some wine and glasses with him. It was just very civilized and really nice. And then I have no idea what is happening in the next clip because I think my mum like couldn't get up off the off the ground, but it was funny anyway. And then we went down to Frio and got cookies from Get Chunky because they're just the best cookies. They're amazing. They're like these huge, great big cookies that are just the best.
Okay, so we are driving down to Margaret River today. We have just stopped off at Pinjarra Bakery in Pinjarra to pick up our lunch, which we're going to take down to Bustleton. So we both got pies. Classic Australian pie. Which pie did you get after?
The steak and gravy one.
Delish. I got beef, cheese and bacon. It's my fave. Also got a cheeky chocolate milk and an apple strudel. I'm so excited. So we're going down to Margaret River today just for one night, and then we're back to Perth tomorrow. So yeah, come with.
The drive from Pinjarra down to Bustleton is maybe like an hour to an hour and a half, but we made it in good time. We had our pies on a picnic bench by the beach. It was lovely. The pies were amazing. And then we just had a wander around the waterfront area. This shark sign terrified Aftab, which made me laugh. But yeah, it was actually really nice just wandering around and seeing what they've changed since I was last here about 10 years ago. They've done so much to this waterfront area and it's just like a really nice relaxing place to go now.
We have just arrived at Borenup, what's it called? Borenup Forest Viewpoint, I think. And it's so pretty and it smells amazing, but like look at the trees. Oh my gosh, I'm just going to turn you around and show you the trees because they're so pretty. Look. How cute.
Borenup Viewpoint was, oh, it was just so beautiful. I love Caves Road. I love all the trees everywhere. It was just really lovely just to stop off and just kind of have a little break and just kind of be in nature. And then we drove down to Hamlin Bay where you can usually see stingrays and like giant stingrays. I've seen them there loads of times before, but this time there weren't any there, which was kind of disappointing because I'd really hyped it up for Aftab and then there was nothing. But the beach is beautiful anyway. Like, look at it. It's just so stunning. It's like paradise. Next on the list was Mammoth Cave. Now, I'd been to a cave in Margaret River about 15 years ago. It wasn't this one. It was so much better than this one. Like, this Mammoth Cave, it's fairly small. It's not huge. Like, it's nice to go to if it's on your route, but I wouldn't go out of my way to see it again. Like, the other one that I went 2 years ago was so much better. It was a lot bigger. There was just more to see. So I will find out which one that was and I'll put it down below in the description. But yeah, I would recommend visiting that one instead of this one. Also, you had to climb up so many steps to get out of this cave. And then there was like a 10-minute walk through a forest, like after you got out of the cave to get back to the car park. It was just not the best experience. Like, it wasn't great. I spent more time walking around back to the car than I did actually in the cave itself. Now, you cannot go to Margaret River without going for some wine tasting sessions. We started at Lewin, we didn't like any of the wines there, so we went to a favourite of mine, Cape Mental.
Here he comes, taking his little photos. Yeah. We are at Cape Mental. Ta-da! Usually there's a river running along here, but it's too dry at the moment because it's the summer. But usually it's very pretty with the river and the water going through.
fruit, very strawberry like.
Really?
I really like the smell of that.
Okay, let's see.
It's nice.
Okay.
Yeah. What's that?
No.
With our bottles of wine secured, we headed back to Margaret River. We needed to check into the hotel, and then we were going to drive out to Sugarloaf Rock, which is up near kind of the Yallingup area of down south. And the reason that we came to Sugarloaf is because they have the best sunsets in the world, I think. I mean, I think they're the best sunsets in the world. They're just absolutely stunning. Like, every time I go and see a sunset here, it's just pure magic. So I highly recommend going there. Like, it's a bit out of the way. It took us about 45 minutes driving from Margaret River. 100% worth it. We then headed back to Margaret River afterwards, had dinner at Maury's, which is an amazing restaurant in Margaret River, and then got an early night. We woke up bright and early the next morning, had a delicious breakfast at Margaret River Bakery, and then hit the wineries again. Started with Vassar Felix. We weren't a huge fan of any of the wines there. So we went on to one of my other favourite wineries, which is called Lenton Bray. Had some really beautiful wines there. So I think we left with maybe 3 or 4 bottles between the two of us.
We bought more wine.
Yeah, we've got the goods.
And then it was time for Injidup Spa. I can never pronounce it, so please excuse the pronunciation. This is basically a natural spa, natural swimming pool sort of area. I do not go in that water because it looks terrifying. But after that, we went to Meelup Farmhouse for lunch, which is the cutest place. They have so many chickens everywhere. They've got all these animals. They have goats. They have alpacas. It's just the most beautiful place. It's so relaxing. It's just absolutely gorgeous. I highly, highly, highly recommend going there. Just make sure you book in advance because, yeah, like I've tried to go before and haven't managed to get a table. This time I did book in advance and it was 100% worth it. Like, it's just the cutest little place and the food was incredible. Like, really, really incredible food. Then we drove up to Geograph Bay, which is one of my favourite swimming spots in the whole of the world. It's just always flat and perfect and beautiful. We then drove back up to Perth and had dinner with my friend Andy and Subiaco at the most amazing Italian restaurant called Lulu La Delizia. I last went with Caitlin, and it's just such a great restaurant. The next day, we spent with my friends, and honestly, the only things that I filmed were my pancakes at breakfast. And then we did a little bar crawl that evening because it was Aftab's last day or night of being 30 before he turned 31 at midnight. So we did this bar crawl, and then we ended up in Honky Tonk, which is this kind of Nashville themed bar in Fremantle. It's so much fun. They have live music, it's great. And we had a shot at midnight to celebrate Aftab, and it was just the perfect day. It was so relaxed, it was so chilled out, it was just so lovely. One of the main things that Aftab wanted to do while we were in Australia was meet some Australian animals. So I took him to Caversham Wildlife Park, and he was a very happy birthday boy. He got to hang out with the kangaroos and the wallabies. He got to stroke a wombat, and it was just such a fun day. I hadn't been here for years, and it was really nice to go back again.
He's holding onto my hand.
I just love how this baby kangaroo was holding onto my hand while he ate. I could not cope. It was the cutest thing. And then we even got to hold a koala bear. Although we shouldn't call them bears, should we? They're just koalas. I did spend the week telling Aftab about drop bears, and he was fully convinced that drop bears were real for a whole week. And then Andrew spoiled it. But anyway, this was just the cutest little day, and honestly, holding a koala was like the cherry on top.
We are ready to hold a koala. Ah.
This is George, and he is so cute. I cannot cope. Anyway, after Caversham, we drove over to Sandalford for the most delicious lunch. Everything was amazing. Aftab was a very happy birthday boy. He got a sparkler. Later that evening, we had a big birthday dinner for Aftab with my closest friends and my family, and it was just the loveliest evening. My best friend Caitlin baked him this amazing birthday cake, which was white chocolate and passion fruit. Oh, it was amazing, like so great. And then it was our last day. I was really sad, so I didn't film a lot of clips that day. So here are just the last ones that I have.
It's our last day. We are heading back to London this evening. So we're just having a walk on the beach of Florians. It's so windy. But look how pretty it is. I am very sunburned, but come with me to experience Singapore Airlines business class.
Yep, that's right. I upgraded myself. I just could not help it. I had a whole load of points to use up, so I thought I would just do it. It was great. I loved it. I mean, it has been a while since I last flew Singapore Airlines business class, and it did not disappoint at all. And then when we got to Singapore Airport, we had like 3 or 4 hours. Maybe, no, I think it was 2 or 3 hours in between flights, so we were able to kind of explore the airport a little bit. Changi is hands down the best airport in the world. It's just visually stunning. There's so much to do there. They've got these beautiful gardens and ponds all through the airport. And then there's even a butterfly garden, and there are cinemas, and there's just so much to see and do there. So yeah, and then this was it. This was the end of our journey and our trip. 2.5 weeks. So yeah, it was incredible. Absolutely amazing trip. I'm so glad that I took Aftab with me. It was so lovely just to show one of my British friends what my life in Australia was like and is like when I go back there. So I hope that you found this video useful. It's kind of like a mix of like a vlog and tips from somebody who used to live in these places. So yeah, but thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this, please subscribe, give it a thumbs up. I post a lot of travel videos, luxury hotel room tours, you name it. So yeah, and I will see you very, very soon for Disney content. Bye!